away the Brampton area the next 10 to 15 minutes or so. And as Jared mentioned, additional storms are starting to fire up. We're really going to have to watch these storms across portions of Kentucky, just north of E-Town, as they move towards the Bardstown region, down near Lebanon, just north of Hodgenville, just north of Greensburg. Not severe right now, but they are starting to rotate, at least in the mid-levels. And if they continue to intensify, they could produce some severe weather a little bit later on this afternoon. Sir, what do you have?
I've got a storm off toward the north and east of Louisville, Jay, that looks very mean right now. We're in parts of Trimble County, just south of the Bedford area, where we're monitoring a possible tornado that's developing right now on the storm analyzer. Let's switch over to the analyzer if we can, because I've got it really dialed up for you just south of Bedford. I think this area, Jay, is probably where the highest risk of an immediate tornado spin-up is, and it's where I'm showing rotation at about 120, 130 miles per hour right in a very small area. So we're talking about very strong winds between US 42 and US 421 as that passes south of Bedford and toward I-71. If you're kind of in that triangle of sorts, that's where we could have a tornado touching down at any moment's notice. And we've got storms continuing to develop off toward the west and southwest. The lead storm has now flown eastward of this thing and is now passing toward Kentucky Speedway and out of the viewing area. It will now be a problem for areas closer to I-75. So as we turn our attention back toward the west, storms continue to fire. Jay was mentioning the storm over Clark and Floyd counties and how it looks like it may be more of a straight-line wind threat. The Weather Service agrees. They went with a severe thunderstorm warning, but I really think the best thing to do is underneath any warning today, be in that basement, because even these lines of storms in this chaotic wind environment, Jay, could produce a tornado at any moment's notice. And as I said a minute ago, we've got the storm over Meade County, and I'm very concerned about this guy developing right on 31 just south of Radcliffe at this point. That's kind of the overview of the numerous problems we have right now.
Yeah, that storm near Radcliffe, put a velocity scan on that, Jared. Let's see what's going on. You know what? Possibly a little bit of rotation. Yeah, starting to show up in that particular cell, so we'll watch it close. But, of course, severe thunderstorm warnings have been issued not only for that, but the cells coming out of southern Indiana, which will sweep across the metro in short order. If you're watching from Louisville, no warnings in effect at this time, but no doubt it looks like at least severe thunderstorm warnings will be issued here shortly for the potential for some hail and some high winds. The tornado threat right now is extremely high off to the northeast and also off to the southwest. Look at that live picture coming in on the left-hand portion of your television set. Where are we at, guys? This is Henryville. Oh, okay, it's not live. So that was the first storm that moved through. Is that correct? Okay, this was Henryville, Indiana. As the first supercellular storm moved through, that was the tornado that was really chewing up the countryside. This tornado reported to be quite large from time to time, a large multiple vortex tornado. We've had numerous damage reports along its path across southern Indiana, through portions of north central Kentucky as well. Most notably hard hit was Henryville itself. That's where the picture was taken from. And also a little bit farther off to the west of there near Pekin, where reports of injuries have come on in as well. And now we're watching this next storm, which is still pretty mean looking right now on the analyzer, that's going to be cruising its way on into sections of northern Hardin County and also northwestern Bullitt County. That's a mean looking storm, Jerry.
Yeah, it certainly is, Jay. We've got some pretty strong rotation showing up with that thing. It's wrapping up right now, just west of Muldraugh and Fort Knox, right along US 60. You can see it right in this general area, Jay.
Right.
If you can point it out there, that is a very strong area of rotation that is continuing to march eastward, and that's got its eyes right on Fort Knox, West Point, Muldraugh, and Radcliffe. Over the next several minutes, you were talking about the storms off toward the north. We had the photos from Henryville, Indiana. Borden, we got photos from you we're getting reports anyway, that the high school in Borden has been damaged as well. And if that occurred, that would have been with the second storm, which is now producing tornado warnings in Henry as well as Trimble counties. And I just want to mention real quick here, Jay, the storm off toward the west of Grayson County is producing straight-line winds of 80 miles per hour in Ohio County right now.
Okay, so you folks in Litchfield, you folks in Caneyville, up around Rough River Lake, be on the lookout for some very strong winds and a possible tornado headed in your direction over the next 30 minutes or so. Again, let's go over